Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 17th of August. Former Indian Prime Minister Vajpayee accorded state funeral. Pakistan confirms suspension of military training by US. And Parsi community in India celebrates New Year. And now for all the details. Former Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee was accorded a state funeral in the national capital New Delhi on Friday. The iconic leader passed away at the age of 93 on Thursday. Several political leaders from India and neighbouring countries attended the funeral as he was cremated with full state honours.
Former Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who passed away at the age of 93, was accorded a state funeral in the national capital New Delhi on Friday. Vajpayee, one of the most popular leaders of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP, died on Thursday after suffering from kidney tract infection, low urine output and chest congestion. Born on December 25, 1924, Vajpayee was the first leader of the BJP to be sworn in as the Prime Minister. On Friday, thousands of supporters led by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi walked the roads and bylanes of New Delhi as they followed the carriage carrying Vajpayee's mortal remains on his final journey. At the funeral ground, several top political figures, including foreign dignitaries, paid their last respects to the iconic leader before he was cremated with full state honours. Awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, in March 2015, Vajpayee was the moderate face of Hindu nationalism and was admired by his political foes. During his second term as Prime Minister, he ordered nuclear test in May 1998 in a strategic masterstroke to blunt Pakistan's nuclear ambitions. He followed this up with peace overtures to Pakistan, riding on the first direct bus from India to Pakistan in February 1999. Vajpayee announced his retirement from politics in 2005.
Death toll climbed to over 160 due to floods triggered by heavy rains in India's southern Kerala province on Friday. As the flood situation is getting worse by the day, massive rescue and relief operations have been launched in the southern province.
Floods in India's southern Kerala province have killed over 160 people and forced more than 200,000 into relief camps, officials said on Friday, with more misery expected as heavy rains pushed water levels higher. In some areas, Indian Air Force was pressed into service to airlift flood-hit victims and shift them to safer places. The floods began 9 days ago and Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan confirmed 160 people have been killed, some in landslides, with about 223,000 people forced into 1,568 relief camps.
സംസ്ഥാനത്തെ 1568 ദുരിതാശ്വാസ ക്യാമ്പുകൾ 2,23,000 പേരുണ്ടാവും മൊത്തം. ആഗസ്റ്റ് 8 മുതലുള്ള കണക്കനുസരിച്ച് 164 പേർ മരണപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Continuous rains have caused displacement of thousands of people who are now seeking roof in government shelters or houses of people in higher areas. Many houses on low-lying areas have submerged into flood water.
ഇതിലൂടെ 51 കുടുംബങ്ങളിലായിട്ട് 177 പേര് ഈ ക്യാമ്പിലുണ്ട്. ഈ ക്യാമ്പിൽ എല്ലാ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് സഹായത്തോടെ ഇവർക്ക് വേണ്ടുന്ന എല്ലാ സൗകര്യങ്ങളും ചെയ്തു കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. മെഡിക്കൽ ടീമുകളുണ്ട്.
Famous for its coastline and picturesque backwaters, Kerala is a major destination for domestic and international tourists. The province last saw such devastating floods in 1924.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's Foreign Office on Thursday said that Islamabad and Washington were engaged in resolving the issue of cutting scores of its military officers from coveted training and educational programs. The move is one of the first known impacts from United States' decision this year to suspend security assistance to Pakistan.
Pakistan's Foreign Office spokesman said on Thursday that his country and the United States were engaged in resolving the issue of affected international military education and training programs, or IMET, for Pakistan officers. The US has quietly started cutting scores of Pakistani officers from coveted training and educational programs that have been a hallmark of bilateral military relations. The move is one of the first known impacts from US President Donald Trump's decision this year to suspend security assistance to Pakistan to compel it to crack down on Islamic militants.
The US has provided training to Pakistani military officials under a specific program. It is called IMET, International Military Education and Training, for the last many years. However, as of January this year, all security assistance to Pakistan has been suspended. The IMET program for Pakistani officers was also affected by this decision. Both countries are engaged to resolve this issue.
Relations between Washington and Islamabad have frayed since US President Donald Trump in January this year accused Pakistan of supporting Taliban militants wreaking havoc in neighboring Afghanistan. Washington announced suspension of nearly $2 billion of aid to Islamabad for failure in tackling militancy in the region. Pakistan has maintained that it has sacrificed a lot in the war against militancy.
Moving on. Gilgit Baltistan is among the ultimate tourist destinations with its picturesque landscapes and cultural diversity. However, locals blame the tourism sector in the region has failed to realize its true potential under the illegal occupation of Pakistan.
The remote Himalayan region of Gilgit Baltistan is home to diverse flora and fauna and features stunning valleys and crystal blue lakes. Tourism is one of the main revenue generators in Gilgit Baltistan. However, the Pakistani government has failed to develop the region to make it more tourist-friendly. Locals blame Islamabad's indifference in developing the tourism sector of the region has made it out of bounds for the tourists. They lament the few tourists who visit the illegally occupied region often complain about improper infrastructure and lack of basic facilities.
आई फील कि ये जो आप लोग बाहर शहर जाके पैसे वेस्ट करते हैं मुल्क के डॉलर्स, वो आप इधर लगाया करें. हमारे यहाँ लोगों की इकोनॉमी में भी बहुत हेल्प होगी और आपको ये रियलाइज़ होगा कि आपके पास ब्यूटी क्या है नॉर्दर्न पाकिस्तान में.
Locals say with proper policies and planning by the Pakistan government, the tourism sector could have been a major boost to the economy of the illegally occupied region. Years of continued neglect by Islamabad and a corrupt administrative system has made Gilgit Baltistan one of the most backward regions under Pakistan's rule.
In news from Afghanistan, students called for firing of security leaders following Wednesday's suicide attack on an educational center that killed at least 60 students in Afghan capital Kabul. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the blast, which came after several weeks of relative calm in Kabul.
Following the suicide attack on the educational center in Afghan capital Kabul on Wednesday, a number of students have demanded for the security leaders to step down as they have failed to resolve security issues in the country. The explosion that happened when students were present inside a classroom killed at least 60 and wounded over 70 students. Meanwhile, families living in Afghan's western Parsi area have said that they are always worried when their children are away from home.
من میخوایم که بگویم این سوال داشته باشم کمی جوابگوی ما شاگردا ما جوانا کی است
داخل رئیس امنیت کلگی استفاده بده وقتی نمیتونه امروز که صدها جوان دیروز شهید شد فردا خود ما میشیم.
There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the blast, which came after several weeks of relative calm in the Afghan capital. Taliban, which has been intensifying its attacks against military and government centers in recent weeks, issued a statement denying involvement in the attack.
More on news from Afghanistan. Afghanistan's Interior Minister on Thursday said the attack on a training center of National Directorate of Security in Kabul city ended after 3 gunmen were killed. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack.
Afghan Interior Minister Vice Ahmed Barmak on Thursday said that the attack on a training camp of National Directorate of Security (NDS) in Kabul city ended after 3 gunmen were killed. The gunmen had stormed a building close to the NDS military training center in Kabul city on Thursday morning. This was yet another attack on a military facility this week. However, there was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. On Wednesday, local media reports said that at least 35 Afghan National Army officers and 10 policemen were killed when the Taliban launched an attack on a military base in Baghlane Markazi district on Tuesday night.
A food exhibition was recently organized in India's Jammu and Kashmir province to revive the herbal food culture in the valley. The event displayed food items like forest vegetables and different kinds of liquid teas which locals used in ancient times.
A herbal food exhibition to revive old food culture of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir was recently organized in the province's summer capital Srinagar city. The event displayed food items like forest vegetables and different kind of liquid teas. The exhibition also aimed at making the youth aware about the ancient food culture in the province.
ऐसे एग्जीबिशंस होने चाहिए और इसमें हमें ज़्यादा पार्टिसिपेशन यूथ की है क्योंकि आज हम देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे मुझे लगता है स्टूडेंट्स कम है एज़ कम्पेयर टू द स्टेक होल्डर्स एंड ऑल, इसीलिए हमें बहुत सारे एग्जीबिशन करने चाहिए ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स आए ताकि वो पहले से मोटिवेट हो जाए, इंस्पायर हो जाए कि हमें जंक फूड नहीं लेने चाहिए.
मैं चाहता हूं कि इसी तरह एग्जिबिशंस लगाएं, डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशन करें, प्रैक्टिकल डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशन. यहाँ पे हमने बना के भी लोगों को कुक करके भी खिलाया था, क्यूजीन बना के. तो हम कहते हैं कि अगर जितना हम इसको एग्जिबिट करेंगे मुख्तलिफ जगहों पे बच्चों को, खासकर नौजवान को, तलबा और तालिबात को हम इसकी तरफ रागिब करेंगे तो इंशाल्लाह मैं समझता हूँ कि आने वाले वक्त में हम इस वक्त ये फर्टिलाइज़र्स, ये केमिकल्स, इस परेशानी से हम बाहर आ सकते हैं.
The event was organized by the Department of Environment and Remote Sensing in collaboration with the Institute of Hotel Management. Food culture in the Kashmir Valley always consisted herbal and forest items which were used by the locals to maintain their health. However, with the modernization in culture, people are now more attracted towards artificial and fast food items.
Parsi community in India's western Mumbai city thronged ejeries or fire temples on the occasion of their new year called Navroz. The ancient festival celebrated by the community marks the start of the Iranian solar year. People observe the auspicious day by wearing new clothes and offering prayers.
India's Parsi community celebrated Navroz or the New Year on Friday by visiting ejeries or fire temples. Parsis follow the Zoroastrian faith, an ancient pre-Islamic religion of Iran. Navroz is an ancient festival marking the start of the Iranian solar year and the coming of spring. People observe the auspicious day by wearing new clothes and offering prayers at temples.
सुबह उठ के 11 में आते हैं, वो प्रेयर्स करते हैं, ब्लेसिंग लेते हैं अपना डालना, फिर फैमिली के साथ बैठ के साथ में सेलिब्रेट करते, खाना बना खा के, और बस ऐसा दिन निकल जाता है, सबके लिए दुआ करते हैं.
Houses are cleaned and colorful patterns are drawn with powdered colors at the doorstep on the occasion. There are around 58,000 Parsis in India, a nation of 1.3 billion people. Yet the community has included some of the India's biggest business names, its top nuclear scientists, world-class musicians and several senior military officers.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter at @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.